My ex turned up last night drunk. Tomorrow is his wedding day. Should I tell his soon-to-be wife? I was with my ex for 2 years. It was not the best relationship and we broke up because I moved for uni and just didn't want to be with him anymore. It has been almost 5 years since we broke up and I am engaged to be married with my fiancé who is absolutely my soulmate. Yesterday evening at around 22 o'clock he rang our doorbell drunk. His bachelor party was in the city I live in and he came to see me. When my fiancé opened the door my ex just started sobbing saying that he couldn't believe my fiancé, was real or some bullshit like that. We took him into the apartment because he didn't look dangerous and he just vocally vomited before he actually vomited in our bath. What I could gather is that he was still very hurt because our breakup, that he thinks that we could have made it work. And he regrets treating me badly. He then threw up again and called an Uber to his hotel. It was very surreal. He was fine. We fed him waffles and Sif to sober up and told him to write us when he was in his hotel to make sure he didn't die or something. I was left with a weird feeling. Almost dirty. I am thinking of contacting his soon-to-be wife? Or should I call him to encourage him to tell that to his fiancée? Or should I not do anything and let this just be an anecdote for my future? Edit. Thanks for all the feedback. It seems like Reddit is as split on this as I am lol. Just because this kept coming up. My main goal with telling her is not for them to break up. I don't want that and that's not why I would want to tell her. The reason for me telling her is solely that I would want to know if I was her. Nothing else. It's also not me bragging about him not being over me. That's not something I care about and wonder how some of you twisted it into that. Also a tiny update. I decided that contacting the bride was the wrong move because we are not friends. However, I sent his sister, an old friend of mine, a message basically saying to talk to her brother because he appeared at my door drunk and distressed and to make sure he was okay. She thanked me for the massage and apologized profusely because my ex has been apparently acting a fool for a few weeks now leading up to his wedding. She asked me if I was okay and if her brother had gone back to the hotel room because they couldn't find him. I told her he had Ubered home and had written us that he had arrived in his room at around 11:30 p.m. She thanked me again and I haven't heard from her since. Another update. His sister called me again to ask me if he had come by or said anything about his whereabouts. Apparently he didn't show for the wedding and no one knows where he is. So me telling the fiancé is now obsolete. Put yourself in his wife's shoes. Would you want to sign your life away to this person? Being drunk to that extent where you're throwing up multiple times severely alters your thinking and behavior. As much as this honestly would make me feel shitty if my hypothetical fiancé did that, it's very likely that was just the alcohol speaking. Drunk words are not always sober thoughts. Drunk words are drunk thoughts, and when you're that drunk they can deviate quite a lot from sober thoughts. Edit. Because of how drunk he was I don't think I would say anything as it may just cause tension from something that really doesn't mean anything. I want to add that he probably won't even remember this encounter. Or should I not do anything and let this just be an anecdote for my future? That's what I would do. He was hammered drunk and it is very possible that this was some weird emotional fluke because he was getting married and was super drunk. I've seen it many times before and you can't attach any reliability or have any strong confidence that this was in vino veritas. Because of that I would say don't go stirring up shit unless you just love drama. Going against the grain here but I would stay out of it. Not because I think it's the right moral decision but because I think there's a very real chance you bring some very negative drama into your life if you do tell and I don't think you owe bringing that drama into your life to anyone. Look man, don't put yourself into this guy's drama. Part of you is going to say to yourself, his fiancé should know what's up. But ignore this, even though it sounds sensible. Whatever shitshow is going on with him and his life is his to deal with. If you blow up his engagement, how's he gonna take that? That you were jealous? That you were angry? That you were regretful that you guys didn't make it so stopped him from moving forward? If he goes with any of these false motivations he's gonna be right back into your life making fresh drama. So do yourself a favor and just skip it. Block him on anything that he isn't already blocked on and move on with your comparatively much better life. You dodged a bullet with this guy years ago, just keep it up. There is a third option here and that is to alert the best man. Op would likely come off as a crazy person for reaching out to the bride with this bombshell having no prior relationship with her. But, she likely knows the best man, or at least one of the groomsmen. She needs to call the guy who is standing up for his friend at the wedding and tell him, hey. Check on your boy. Keep him in his lane. Maybe that lane takes him to the altar. Maybe it takes him straight on out of town. But it seems like it is their job to suss out their friend's true feelings about his marriage and make sure he isn't walking into a mistake. Why would you want to tell her? You didn't have sex. And realistically, he isn't your problem after 5 years and he was drunk. Just snitch. I would be heartbroken if I married someone who tried to beg for their ex back on the eve of our wedding. You'd be doing her a favor. Significant other makes over 2x my salary. We still split everything, including vacations, 50-50, need advice. I'm not trying to sound entitled, trying to seek real advice. Background. We've been together 5 years, and have had serious talks of getting engaged this year. Financially, I make $55K a year and pay $500 a month to pay off school debt. My significant other makes $120,000 a year and has no real debt. We split everything 50-50, including vacations. Lately this has left me feeling sad for reasons mentioned below. 1. We had a 4-day trip to South Carolina planned with another couple, but due to financial strains I had to drop out. Instead of offering to pay for anything, like housing or plane ticket, my significant other planned on still going without me, which she's done several times before, which hurt a smidge, but whatever, not my money. Our friends ended up dropping out too and told me it was because I wasn't going and they thought it was weird my significant other didn't offer to cover anything, since they are in a similar situation. 2. I also recently lost a side gig that was giving me about 3-4K a year that I would use strictly for vacation, lost due to budget constraints, yay. Which now means that I'll be hard-pressed to go on any big vacation at all next year. My SO's response has basically been, that sucks. 3. On a few of our vacations, we've had minor arguments over accommodations. Again, I can't drop $400 a night for a hotel or something, so we typically try to compromise over Airbnbs, through which I always end up paying slightly more than I would have wanted. 4. Can't deny that ring shopping through all of this has made it more painful. While I'm tightening purse strings and being left behind, I'm also considering diving into my savings for a ring. Now, I get that this isn't necessarily a fair argument. Her money is her money and she has no obligation to share. That being said, it is becoming more and more frustrating over time that despite being together for 5 years and considering marriage, I feel like I'm constantly struggling to figure out how to make finances work while she has very little sympathy and is totally willing to leave me behind if I can't keep up financially, which is obviously not by choice. I don't think she does it out of malice or anything, but I don't know how, or even if I should, voice my feelings on the issue. It especially hurts because if situations were reversed I'd be more than happy to cover more than my fair share to make sure we both could enjoy similar experiences. Any advice? Edit. Thank you everyone. I haven't responded to many comments because the response has been overwhelming, in a good way. But I have read every single response so far and it has given me a lot to think about. Thank you all again. First off, stop saving for a ring. Even if you two end up getting engaged, married, it shouldn't be anytime soon because there are problems in your relationship that need to be addressed before you take those steps. Second, sit down and talk with her about finances comprehensively. Let her know that, most commonly, couples split finances proportionately according to income. Your significant other makes 69% of your combined income, so she should pay 69% of the combined bills, and ask them if they're open to doing that going forward. If not, they care more about money than your relationship and you shouldn't be with them at all. She is an extremely loving, caring, and thoughtful person. Okay, but my significant other planned on still going without me, which she's done several times before. Which is it? It's fine for couples to go on separate vacations, but she wanted to leave you out for a specific couples trip? Even your friends think that's weird. How is this not a red flag? If she truly cares for you, she'd adjust the trip into something you can afford, or go on a different trip with a group of friends. And that's just one part of the issue, but she seems to love money more than you. If you get married, will you join finances or will it still be split? 'Cause this is really not the way to live, it's meant to be a partnership. Definitely a conversation you need to have, especially if you are considering marriage. You need to know what her expectations are regarding finances once you're married, like does she want a joint account, etc. She's not fully invested in the relationship, it seems. This one is tricky. I would normally advise the compromise on things like vacation should be that you plan it around your budget, and if the other person wants something nicer or more, then they pay the difference. But it sounds like they've taken the option to leave you at home instead. Have you had talks about finances before? If you're thinking about marriage in the future, then you should be able to be open about these things. My husband makes half of what I make and I consider us to be one as in one unit, a pair, together. I'll go against the grain and say I believe in 50-50 until you're engaged. The trip thing, though, is an exception, and like you, lopsided Major 6623 mentioned as an option. When one partner wants fancier hotels, adventures than the other, I think they should pay, at least most of, the difference. The fact that your significant other was just like, cool, I'm still going, sounds pretty cold, presuming you told her the truth as to why you were backing out. Please consider why you are even discussing marriage with someone like this. My husband just got his dream job, and I wanted advice on how to handle it. My 27F husband's 26M dream is show business, and he just got hired on at an Old West town. He'll be in the band, acting in the shows, and dancing with the Can-Can girls. Let me just say this, I am truly happy for him. This has been his dream since he was little, and I support him. The problem is that he cheated on me, and was generally unfaithful during the first year of our relationship, and we're still working through that. I know it's been years, and I should be over it. But I guess I'm not over it, because when I learned he'd be doing dances with the very beautiful, very single Can-Can girls, my heart did that thing hearts do. Several different times where he cheated, or almost cheated, was when he danced with other girls. He loves dancing, and it's a turn-on for him. I've tried dancing with him, but I'm not very good at it. Even though he's never said it, I can tell I don't turn him on when I dance. I thought I was over it all, but in hindsight, we haven't been dancing in a while, COVID, so maybe I haven't dealt with all of it. Dancing is bringing it all back up. I don't want to ruin this for him, so I haven't brought it up to him. I feel like if I did, he'd feel obligated to request he not dance with the girls, and it would be a whole thing. I don't have any reason not to trust him, and it would be easier on everyone if I could just get over myself. I guess I just need advice on how to do that. Edited to add. He didn't come clean about his unfaithfulness until a year ago, so I never knew about anything until we were already married, settled down, and completely in love. He has done everything he can to make it right since coming clean. I'm not asking for, leave him, advice. I just want to heal. Edit. As it turns out, the job only pays $8.25 an hour, Thursday through Sunday, working 10-hour shifts. But rehearsals are Monday-Wednesday, and he doesn't get paid for that. So not only would he be working 7 days a week, but I know the bulk of our finances would fall to me to pay. I don't want to make him choose between me and his dream, however. I guess the only thing to do is talk about it with him. Final edit. I've talked to him, and we worked out a compromise. He's going to demand days off, and gas compensation. If they don't agree, he quits tomorrow. If they do agree, I'm giving him 2 months. If, at the end of 2 months, I'm not happy, he quits, and finds a better paying job. If he fails to do any of the above, I leave. He's promised to do all of the above, however. He said our marriage is worth more to him than this job, even if it's his dream. I'm honestly happy it worked out this way, and thankful for healthy communication. Thank you to everyone who gave advice. I appreciate all of you. I don't have any reason not to trust him. Yes, you do. He cheated for a year and then kept it a secret for several years after that. You have every reason not to trust him. I think you should set clear boundaries, no hanging out or drinking with the girls off the clock, no casual texting these girls, etc. And the first time he violates one of the boundaries, then request he doesn't dance with the girls anymore. I think that is completely reasonable considering his past. What do you mean you no reason not to trust him? You have many reasons. The fact that he's specifically choosing a profession that deals with the exact same situation in which he's cheated on you before. Definitely talk to him about this. From what I understand, due to the pandemic, there are some jobs out there that may have paid minimum wage before but that now pay more. If that is the type of work he typically does, I would recommend he take something else that pays more, because this job pays less than $8.25 per hour if he has to do it for free on his days off. And then look at doing more dancing on his days off. His dream might be show business, but this is no more show business than my acting gig at a theme park in high school. My point is not to make fun of him but for you not to feel bad if you ask him to do something else. Especially if you would like him to make more money and he can. Your husband's dream job pays $8 an hour? You have more than one reason to leave him. He is a dud. Any kids? Man. I guess there's a dream job for everyone. I don't have any reason to not trust him. You absolutely do. You just listed a whole handful. I guess you should open your heart. making it clear you don't want him to let this chance pass and you need a reassurance talk. I'm sure he will be understanding and acknowledge your reasons. Both of you have worked hard and showed compromise since the ulterior problems, and this talk is important to keep on this track. It's an important moment and better for things not to remain unsaid. Why does my wife get so annoyed with me when I complain about her throwing away my stuff? Okay, I've been living with my wife for 11 years, and every 3 months or so she will throw away some important document of mine. I will fish it out the trash, and point out it was there, and usually an enormous row then follows where my wife complains that a. It wasn't her, b. It wasn't her fault, c. It was my fault. We're in the middle of one of these rows now. Then eventually we resolve it, and come up with some solutions like, if it's on my desk, it doesn't ever go in the bin. Then she'll ignore one of these rules and do it again. Sure, accidents happen, but the thing is they happen because she's not really thinking about what she's doing, and will throw away anything I've left on the kitchen table, and on occasion will throw away stuff in my office, even though we've apparently agreed that if it's on my desk, it doesn't move. My question is more, what am I doing wrong here? In that, as far as I'm concerned, it's a problem. She doesn't look at the documents before they go in the trash. She doesn't rifle through piles of kids' drawings to check there's nothing important in them, all of which I would think is reasonable kind of checking behavior. Instead, she gets very defensive about her actions and tries to turn the argument so that she can attack me. E.g., if it was up to me, we'd be knee-deep in trash because I don't throw anything away. Not true, but certainly justified that I don't throw away everything I find. I just don't get it. If I leave the fridge door open, mea culpa, I'll think what I did wrong, and try and stop it. But with this whole, throwing away my crap, this is a cycle, it's going around in circles, and she just doesn't seem to take the fact that it is, in my view, demonstrably a problem to just pick up a piece of paper and throw it away without even looking at it. I'm no saint in any way, but seriously, it's things like tax forms, invoices, envelopes that she hasn't checked doesn't have something important in it. How can I, a. persuade her that it's not just me? This is seriously uncool to do this when you live with someone, and b. get her to try hard to take it seriously so that we don't have this cycle of arguments about it and we can bicker about normal boring stuff instead. Need info. Why is she feeling compelled to do this? Do you let piles build up? Is there a lot of clutter in a space that you share? And #X200B. Sounds like there is a need to better formulate a plan for organization. Regardless, she should not be throwing away things that might hold important documents. She's doing it purpose. You could be petty and misplace some important belongings of hers and see how she likes it. At this point, you should probably keep anything important in a desk drawer. Preferably one that locks. She's not willing to change, so you have to change your habit of leaving important documents where she can get to them. This is probably her plan all along. Because she doesn't like to be called out on being toxic and is trying to gaslight you into shutting up. I'm sorry dude, but look elsewhere for advice. 30-ish comments and most of them are women wriggling around trying to put the blame on you. That's how it is on this subreddit. You've mentioned that she's in charge of all cleaning and that papers sometimes fall off your desk. Maybe she doesn't like clutter and is throwing away your documents to try to force you to have less clutter on your desk. Obviously this is a shitty move on her part. But maybe the solution is to stick all your unsorted papers into a drawer or a tray instead of letting them pile up on a desk. That way she can't say that they fell off. If that doesn't work, maybe figure out exactly what is bothering her about the desk clutter and why she feels the need to resort to underhanded tactics. Power and control. That's why she does it. He can't tell me what to do. This is my house and I'll throw it away if I want to. Buy a safe and put your important stuff in there. How old is she? Could it be dementia? If not, it seems like a way of controlling you.